Two Democratic senators, Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota, have now come out in support of Judge Neil Gorsuch to be confirmed as the next Supreme Court justice. Still, that leaves Republican leaders well short of the 60 votes needed to avoid using the nuclear option to break a filibuster on Gorsuch. As of now, 32 Democrats have said they are against Gorsuch's nomination and support a filibuster, while 2 more are undecided but support the filibuster. 12 Democrats remain undecided. Claire McCaskill is among those who is still undecided, and she is offering a warning to her party. According to reports, McCaskill, who is up for re-election in a state Donald Trump won by double digits, told donors this week that blocking Gorsuch could have dire consequences for Democrats, including the possibility that someone Democrats deem worse could be appointed to the high court in the future. Joining us now, Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley of Oregon. What do you think of Claire McCaskill's concerns?
Well, picture this. You have 2 people confronting each other. One of them pulls out a sword and says, "I've got the power." The other pulls out a machine gun and says, "Too bad." And then the person with the sword says, "Well, I'll just lay it down and I won't pick it up until next time I come back." And well, next time you come back, the other team still has a machine gun. The argument doesn't make any sense. This is the open seat that determines a 5-4 majority on the court.
Right.
And it's a majority we're very familiar with and what it has done.
But you have Gorsuch replacing Scalia. I mean, the person that replaces Kennedy, if Kennedy is next, or Ginsburg, if Ginsburg is next, that's going to be far more significant than this.
Well, not at all, because it only takes 5-4 decision to make it.
No, I understand, but you're replacing Scalia. If you have a conservative replacing, I mean, you and I both know this to be the case. Why, I don't know why you would fight the obvious here.
There is no tradition that we're going to put into the court exactly the framework of someone who has left. This is the power of the president who is there when the seat becomes empty. This seat became empty under Obama. This has happened 16 times in our history. The Senate has always acted except this time. This is the first time.
You're talking about with Garland.
Yes.
So there's payback. So is this just simply payback for Garland?
No, it's not payback. It's the fact that this corrupts the integrity of the court. For the Senate have failed to do its constitutional responsibility on advice and consent in order to pack the court with a future conservative justice, puts a shadow over every future decision.
I agree. So did 2 wrongs make a right here?
Well,
I mean, because we all came out here and said that what Republicans did against Garland was outrageous.
And
so
to fight for the integrity of the court is the right side of this battle, not to accede to the argument that it's okay to pack the court. And so that's why we're fighting. This is completely unacceptable.
So how long do you fight this? I mean, you look back like Breyer got on the court with an 87-9 vote. Ginsburg, 96-3. Will we ever get back to those days?
Well, we put a very clear option before the president. He can put up Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland can be debated. He can be voted on. And then we're back on track in terms of the responsibility of the Senate. And you no longer have a stolen seat. Now, maybe he gets approved, maybe he gets opposed, but at least the Senate will have done its job and you won't have this big constitutional problem hanging over the court. Listen, if you let this precedent stand, for every future vacancy, there's going to be the temptation to say, hey, that seat was stolen, let's steal the seat back. This is a terrible, terrible moment for the way the court is viewed in America, this institution that is so important to our constitutional system.
Senator, my sense of the politics of this is that there is no appetite in the Democratic base for just saying, oh, well, go ahead and vote for him, right? I mean, I think the base wants a fight, and I'm sure that's what you're hearing from constituents. But play this out a little bit. I mean, what happens, one assumes, if the Republicans want to confirm him, they'll confirm him. They might have to get rid of the filibuster to do it, but they can confirm him. So what happens then on the next seat? Is that after the next resignation, do we have another fight?
If they're willing to change the rule on this nomination, they're willing to change the rules on the next nomination. So standing down, it makes absolutely no difference. The reason that we left in place the supermajority in the court is because the integrity of the court depends on having someone from the mainstream, not nominated from the far extremes. We have a nominee from the far extreme on the right, and this is exactly what the supermajority is intended to do. been.
You think people in Claire McCaskill's state and Joe Manchin's state think that Neil Gorsuch, played by Jimmy Stewart during his confirmation hearings, is on the extreme right?
I think when they hear the story of how he completely twisted the law in regards to the frozen trucker, when they hear the story of how he said a law that was intended to make sure that people with disabilities get an education, but in fact he said it doesn't matter if they get an education, as long as they just are kind of in the classroom, it's okay. And the Supreme Court said 8-0. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That's what they said about Gorsuch's interpretation of the law. So I think when people hear these stories about how he has twisted the law time and time again to find on behalf of powerful corporations against ordinary people, they go, wow. This isn't somebody who cares about workers. This is not we the people democracy. This is another conservative justice for corporations, the powerful and the privileged.
He's conservative, but we've never had in the past, up until 10 years ago, an ideological test for how senators would vote on Supreme Court nominees. Aren't we going down a perilous road?
That's exactly why Merrick Garland should be considered before.
We can agree that Merrick Garland should have been considered.
And should be
but should we keep
now.
Going down this perilous road?
Well, we shouldn't, and that's why we need to leave the supermajority in place. And the point is...
But you're going to destroy the supermajority by doing
Well,
this.
no. That is a choice that is up to the Republicans. And they do it at great risk because they realize that this president may get one nominee. But
didn't the Democrats get rid of the supermajority on other nominees and use the nuclear option?
That wasn't the Supreme Court.
I know.
And realize what that came after the Republicans said, we are going to steal 3 circuit court
Okay, but
seats.
we're all going down the road and it keeps spinning down the road. How do you stop it right now?
Stop it by restoring the process, nominate Merrick Garland, have the debate.
But he's not going to nominate Merrick Garland.
Well, that's certainly a choice of the president. If the Republicans want to destroy the Supreme Court, they're on track to do it.
All right, Senator Jeff Merkley, thank you for coming on board this morning. Good to have you. Still ahead.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.